welcome to Unscripted with Antara and Garima. And this time we are talking about all things tourism. Why? Because, well, it's Khareef season in Salalah. Sur was just selected as the Arab Tourism Capital 2024, and I don't really need more reasons because anyone who's been to Oman, even Googled it, seen images, they all know how beautiful this country is. Culture, heritage, things to do. This country has everything. And to tell us about all of that today, we have the one gentleman who really knows everything about the country. He's not only just passionate towards what he does, but he'll also give us those little insights and insider secrets. This is Mr. Shabib Al-Mamri, the MD of Visit Oman. Thank you so much for joining us. So tell us, Mr. Shabib, tell us a little bit about Visit Oman. What is it to the common people?
So our core business is revolving around building a B2B booking engine and targeting source markets that is aligned with the Minister of Heritage and Tourism strategy. And we do that because the Minister already put a lot of work in these source market. There is a lot of spend in terms of awareness, marketing, communication, market-based representatives there. So from a readiness perspective, it's easier for us to walk in these source markets and start offering our product. And our product is, again, a B2B booking engine provided for trade partners. Trade partners are the buyers of tourism-related products. And what does this booking engine includes? It includes well over 100 hotels in Oman, connected to 60 different airlines that these agents, these travel agents, the tour operators can use. And then we have 100 local partner, 80% are SMEs that provide 200 experiences. All of this under one house, a one-stop shop for different trade partners to go in, and they have the luxury of buying a single element product or buying a ready-made package, or they can build their own package. And then they add their own margin and re-market and sell this product to their existing customers. Right. We started 3 years ago, and now we're active in 30 different markets. So core is more about inbound tourism. We do other things that we can talk about later.
Absolutely. Fantastic. So is it right to say that Visit Oman would just be the place if you are planning a trip to Oman to look up to and to see what the options available?
Definitely one. Of them. We're not the only exclusive. I would say there are some other global platforms and OTAs that people are more affiliated with, loyal to, brand that they're associated with. But what we're trying to do now is to connect to these global platform and provide them with the 200 plus products that we have. We started this year just to make it easier for customers to find unique product and exclusive offers.
And experiences, of course.
And experiences.
There's a very common question that we often get asked from our relatives, friends, and whosoever we speak to, and they discover that, okay, you're staying in Oman, okay? The first question that they ask is that if I'm planning a trip of around 7 days to Oman, what are the things that we can really do? If I ask you the same question and do my job here slightly easier because I have someone traveling, how should we really answer this person that if you have 7 days, this would be the ideal way of exploring Oman? Or
6 nights and 7 days in Oman.
Yeah, like how should we go about it?
Yes, so the options to me are endless, to be honest with you. But it depends on what are you into.
Right.
But then the must-dos would be the Muscat. You have the city tour, you have the Grand Mosque, you have the souk, and then abundance of different options of restaurants, beach, ocean-related activities. You have Al Khiran. And then snorkeling, scuba diving, shark whale watching. That's a very unique experience on a global scale, where you could literally swim next to a whale shark and you could pet. Not advisable, but it's a very friendly fish. The turtles. You do demaniyat, and I could go on and on what you can do in Muscat. But then a 2-hour drive, and then it's a totally different offering in Nizwa.
Right.
So you have the old souk, the old market, traditions that have been ingrained there for hundreds of years. Old villages, you have the museums there, Oman across the ages. Very unique offering. and then another 25 minutes, and then you're on Jabal Akhdar. And the temperature difference is between 15 to 20 degrees.
Right.
So when it's summer,
Right.
it's extremely pleasant in Jabal Akhdar. I was there last week. When we've arrived around noon, it was 28.
Wow.
At night, it was 19, 20 degrees.
Pleasant, beautiful
Talk
weather.
about 39 degrees here at
I
this
know.
moment, right?
And we're still in two regions.
Yeah.
And then you have a Sharqiyya with
Right.
Wahiba Sand, with Soor,
Right.
with Ras Al Jins, Turtle Beach, a whole other offering there. And this is all drive-in range. And the beauty of these three areas, if you're located in Muscat and you don't want to spend the night
Yeah.
in another hotel, you
Yeah.
could do a day trip
Yeah.
where you
Right.
can go experience a full day and then
Come
you
back
come
and
back
then
to
stay in the same time.
Muscat. And if you could imagine with me, you do an hour or few hours in Demaniyat, and then you go back, you could literally sit on the beach, have a snack, and then drive, and then you're in the middle of the desert, Dune Bashan, and then you could drive again for another hour in Jabal Shams, and then the temperature drops. You could do literally ocean, beach, desert, mountain in one day.
Wow.
Again,
where do you get this combination?
Yes, it's a very unique combo. One thing that we keep on forgetting in terms of mentioning, roads quality and roads connectivity in Oman are considered one of the best 10 on a global scale.
Ooh.
And in the region, we go head to head with our neighbors. Some years we're number one, some years we're number two. And this is one of the value propositions that people do care about. They want to know that road
course.
quality are good, the connectivity are
Yeah.
excellent.
Yeah.
And we have this that can definitely bring a better experience to tourists.
Yeah. If we had to discuss the numbers, and if you can share this with us, if you see the past trend and if you see it now, from what are the kind of travelers that come to Oman more than anyone else? Like, you have categories of travelers.
Yes,
like you have
definitely.
backpackers, you have honeymoon kind of couples, you have family, group travelers. So what is the kind of, which category travels the most?
So the aspiration was always to target a responsible tourist
Right.
for many reasons. Oman is not targeting mass tourism.
Okay.
And there is a very clear agenda when it comes to sustainability, and that plays along with everything that the ministry been doing, everything that Umran group been doing, and many other groups. And we take that and then start looking at who do we target. Responsible tourist, we want someone who would enjoy their time here with their family, or young couple, or even single travelers. Another growing segment is solo female travelers.
Nice.
Again, that's something that we seriously look at. And then there is this product development that goes around these different segments. Also, the source markets, and then the communication and marketing strategy behind it. How can you send the right message to the right kind of segment, and then bring them here? Airlines also plays a very big role here. So responsible tourist, responsible tourism, I would say, is a core component of the segments that we're trying to target. And then in terms of offerings, a growing segment that there is a lot of focus on is adventure tourism. So anything that has to do with outdoor. And again, to the example, you have people who would, and this is an actual story, that travel all the way from Australia to Muscat, get in a car, drive all the way to a very secluded village in Duqm for a week, a year, just to fish for giant trevallies. And I'm not into fishing. So I like fishing, but I'm not a professional fisherman. And these individuals are, people who love fishing, and they made all this trip because they know in that area of Oman there is this giant trevally that they can fish. Now imagine if you take that and you market and sell the story, and then you package it and you make it easy for people. And why is this interesting in my opinion? Australia is not few hours away.
Yeah, it's
and
really
far.
And then there isn't a direct connectivity. So we're looking at people who are willing to travel over 20 hours and then drive for another 6 to 7 hours.
Jet lagged there.
just for a fish.
Wow.
It's all about the experience
Yes,
here, and this is what we're trying to introduce to the rest of the world. What are the different great experiences that we have as a country, and how can we digitize that experience and then scale it up in terms of distribution?
Another thing that I've read that people actually travel for and from far and wide is to explore shipwrecks. Because I think early on, I think 2018, 2019, they found this shipwreck which dated back to early 1500s. It was from a fleet of Vasco da Gama, right? And people actually come here just to go diving to explore shipwrecks. Now, we've covered dive sites. What about shipwrecks? How many shipwrecks are there? What are the prominent ones?
So to me, I don't have the statistic, but what is happening now is there is a plan to submerge structures. And 2 weeks ago, if you've seen the news, it was all over the news here locally, they submerged a plane. They retired that plane and they've submerged it into the ocean for diving purposes. The beauty of this angle is you're developing this unique offering, a unique experience, but also you're helping the environment by merging these, submerging these structures. But because that helps sustainability, it helps in building ecosystems that been decaying for a while for many different reasons, and you're bringing that ecosystem back to the ocean. A very nice story there, helping the environment, but also creating these very cool experiences where you could dive into a shipwreck, and now you have a plane, and I'm pretty sure there are other activities that some people are planning. I know of one company, they have this very high level proposal. Can't disclose it here, the name of the company, but basically they have the concept of submerging an entire Omani village to create the first under the water museum. And then the idea is that's the experience. You see Omani village under the ocean.
Whoa!
I definitely want to learn diving just to explore this. I'm going to take a second for this to sink in.
Yeah, there are like quite a few cool things that you can actually do here.
So apart from, of course, diving and a lot of sports activities, like Oman is positioning itself as a key sports destination also. You also mentioned that last week you were in Jabal Akhtar. You were with a fleet of four-wheel drives driving up the mountains. Tell me about that experience. What was it all for? Why did you do it?
So last week wasn't your regular trip, it was a corporate retreat.
Right. But you've spoken about this on your LinkedIn about how amazing Oman is to just drive.
Yeah, and the beauty of the experience of last week, it was conducted by Oman, Outward Bound Oman. And they do their prominent organization that does youth empowerment through outdoor activities. But they also have this very nice angle for corporates related to team building through hikes. And we did few interesting hikes there, mainly with the Sogara village, 350 steps going upwards, a very secluded area. But also when it comes to the segment of outdoor, again the options are endless. You have the desert. We know one partner that does expeditions on camels in the middle of the desert for 2 days. And that's a paid experience where you pay him and then he would take you. And the approach is very scientific. So you're not looking at sand. He would tell you this place, the history, the plant, the animals. So there is a lot of education happening while you're on a camel for 2 days in the middle of nowhere. High on safety and HSC. And these are very unique experiences. This is one of many. You have the dune bashing, and then you have the rock climbing, you have the via ferratas on mountains, you have your mellow hike, and then very hardcore hike. And this is not still, haven't touched wadis. So you have the Wadi Shab, the sinkhole. Again, a lot of activities there where you could combine rock climbing, hiking, swimming,
all in a day,
and diving in the same location. And then temperature usually is very pleasant in these places.
So talking about unique places, of course, a lot of unique experience that the country offers, but also unique places that are not just beautiful, but you don't get to see it very often. You know, like we've got the Sulphur Valley, we've got pink lagoons, we've got sugar dunes. What other locations can people look out for? Destinations?
To me, I'm personally excited about stargazing. And not a lot of people know that there are massive areas of land that are protected by law.
Right.
You can't build anything there. And there are great plans to develop these eco-lodges where people who would go there just for stargazing. And Oman is really famous for this, because once you go to these areas, and it's very strict, you shy away from the light pollution. So you don't have a city right next to you, so the sky is very bright. And then we have dedicated tour guides who understand what are you looking at. So it's not, you look up on the sky and you don't get what is this. You'll have a dedicated person who would explain to you what is this.
Yeah, these days you have those apps also, right? That you just point out to the star and it'll tell you as to which constellation is it or what is the...
But then he would tell you also the history. Why the star, who named it, how sailors used it, and then how can you pinpoint North
Star,
and then how that can help you navigate if you ever get lost.
Wow.
So there is this really nice story, something that complements, again, a very unique supplier that we are happy to work with, is photography. Right. So he would take you to stargaze, but then he would teach you how to shoot. During night. You get your camera, and people would travel from abroad. He would be the guide. He would take you through the experience, and then you get your own camera, and he would teach you how to become a professional photographer there. To me, that's something very unique and different comparing to the rest of the region, I would say.
So now you mentioned like quite a few hidden gems here in Oman. Like we haven't even seen like half of Oman, if I would have to say it like that, okay? But what are the steps that Visit Oman or the team is taking at the moment to enhance the experience? Like all these places that we know of, beautiful, I want to visit. But now if you just want to enhance that experience, make it more memorable for someone, what are the steps that we're taking?
So a lot of the feedback that we've received from our trade partners, the buyers, are channeled through the suppliers, to the suppliers. And basically what we do, there is a lot of product development that happens constantly with suppliers. You get one product, you offer it on the platform, and then you will receive a request, and there is a comment there. Can you do 1, 2, 3, 4? We take those comments and we give it to the supplier and like, listen, this German company, this French entity, this UK-based operator wants you to add these things. Is this feasible? If yes, then can you add it, please? And then it becomes a new product. And then we have the buyer there. They know their customer better than we do. We have sometimes, in some cases, special requests for products that doesn't exist. And we accommodate. We go to our wonderful suppliers and tell them, listen, we have this request. Does this make sense? Can we further develop this? And then we develop a new product. A quick example that you will hear about really soon is kite surfing. There is this special group of individuals, local and expats, who live in Oman, that started this movement. And last year, I think, or the year before, they hosted the global champion of kite surfing here in Oman for a couple of weeks. This guy is so famous, people drove from UAE just to meet him when they saw his Instagram that he's in a Sharqiya region. And guess what? We now learn that we have 500 kilometer of coastal area that is not interrupted, uninterrupted, with constant wind.
That's perfect for kite surfing.
And that's like a haven for kite surfing. But then you take that wonderful story and then you sit with suppliers and tell them, can we do something? But then if they're not specialized, you need to go to the source market and tell them, listen, are you interested in kite surfing? What do you want? What's the type of hotel? Is it 3, 4 star? What type of food? Do they want tents? Maybe they don't want a house. They want to sleep on the beach. We take all of that feedback and then product develop with our supplier, becomes one of their product. We push it through basically the platform. The other thing that is a core component in our business is quality assurance. When you talk about enhancement, for us, we don't allow you to become a partner unless we check the product. And by checking, we actually send our staff, the team that heads quality assurance, to go through the experience and test it.
Nice.
And then give you feedback if there are any feedback to enhance it.
Yeah.
And then if you fail, you're not part of the platform. If you pass, then you're on the platform. That's the announced visit. But then we do mystery shopping.
Oh, wow.
So they
I was actually going to ask, what if they know already?
Yes.
Right?
So we actually, again, I can't mention names, but we did fail a hotel.
Oh, you did?
And then we did fail after mystery shopping, and we did fail few suppliers that didn't meet the HSE requirements. Why do we do this? We're taking a big risk with these trade partners. We're telling them, listen, you don't need to do the HSE checks. We will do it. We'll take the risk. And if there is something that would happen, we will take that. We're liable. And then we tell this to the supplier, listen, we're doing business development on your behalf. It doesn't cost anyone anything to become part of Visit Oman. We're taking that risk from them. And we're doing business development on their behalf.
Nice.
But then we need to make sure that the quality is at par.
Yeah, of course.
Because once people experience this and they like it, they'll come back.
Right.
They'll recommend it.
Right.
If they get a bad experience, they'll never come back. They won't recommend it. They might leave. They might end the contract. Right. So we have this bit of a strict rule when it comes to quality assurance, and this help in enhancement of the products.
Yeah, yeah. So
go ahead. Go for it.
So basically, when a person plans a trip to Oman, the usual normal way of doing it is that you go on either a TripAdvisor or Booking.com, and you tend to just kind of see the options. This Visit Oman website also comes into the same category. Correct me if I'm wrong. That we could also refer to that to understand what are the good places that we can visit, right?
Definitely.
And now that you're saying that the association happens, so yours is quality check, so we know that we cannot go wrong if we are going by the recommendation of Visit Oman.
True.
Right. My question here is, a lot of time it happens that when you see the various options, the price point is way beyond your budget of that trip. Do you agree that it happens in Oman very often?
We do have cases where we've noticed that there is a price hike, but it's not. How should I put it diplomatically? It's technology, basically enablement.
Okay.
So, and this is real case studies. Some of the operators choose to become part of global platforms for marketing purposes. So they want their brand, their hotel, their chain to be there.
Right.
But then they know that there is a hefty cut from a commission perspective if someone buys through that global platform. So what they do, they hike the price. So people, so people won't buy, and if they buy, then there is a very nice margin there. But then usually people would look at the price and would tend to go to the website of the actual hotel. So they use it as a branding. So they want to be associated with this particular online travel agency, online travel aggregator, online travel platform. And they want to be at par with other cities, other destinations, because people will use this platform. So they use it for marketing purposes. But when it comes to sales, there are different tactics that they use, and through the technology that connects them to these global platform, they can hike the price. They want to be there, but they don't want to sell, because sometimes, in some cases, the commission goes up to 30%. And to them, that is not feasible. They can make more money. So you see it, and then a lot of people will go to their website, directly to the hotel website, and will get a better offer there. And it fluctuates. Sometimes if it's high occupancy in that hotel, and a lot of hotels tend, for quality purposes, they don't sell 100%. They want to control the number of people that they can serve at their property.
Very nice.
So then they want to maintain this experience, because if you go 100% occupancy, there is this chance of getting 100 call per minute for services. And then you need an army. And if you hire an army, it's not feasible anymore. So how do they control occupancy? They hike up the price. So it becomes very expensive. If you're willing to pay, I might be willing to...
Define increasing the price. How much are we talking? Like, what is the percentage? Or
So in one case, I have seen a very small, it's not even a hotel, it's a hut.
Okay.
And
Which
myself, I've checked it. The room was for around 26,000 Oman Riyal per night.
No way.
And again, it's a tactic for marketing.
26,000.
Yes. So,
What's it
Could
like
buy a car.
typo there? Yeah. Yeah. Basically, a lot of times it happens when you check a certain product and when there are like extra zeros in your head, you automatically just
Must
like,
be 26.
yeah.
They probably don't.
But
make
that was
them-
the actual real price,
Yeah.
26,000.
and they wanted the association. Basically, they wanted
Right.
if someone searches, they find it. It's a very nice place, but it's not even
Smart,
a,
I would say.
it's not
Yeah,
even a
yeah.
proper hotel. But again, it's a marketing tactic that
Yeah,
they
right,
use.
right.
They want the association. Now, if they, for any reason, they don't get their customers, they'll keep the regular price because they control this price. It's not the platform that add these numbers.
Right.
You control it,
Right.
and then you will see it sells for 40 riyals a night. Once they want to sell, they'll push that 40.
Make it
riyal.
40,000 maybe next time.
Yeah, so it depends. It fluctuates, and
Yeah.
you have now what is known as dynamic pricing.
Right.
And with the introduction of AI, it will be able to tell where are you searching from, what's your segment, and then it will put you in a bracket how much can you afford. And also, if you notice, and everyone can try this, if you go to the famous apps that do booking,
Yeah.
if you go for the first time, you'll find a price, and then
Ah.
within 24 hours, if you go again the same price, it recognizes that it's the same individual,
it'll
and
go
the
higher.
probability that of you buying became higher,
Yes.
and they hike it.
Yes, I've
Yes,
experienced
yes,
it myself.
happens. Even
like
for air
very
tickets.
recently. Yeah.
Again, you would receive an email or a
Yeah.
notification if you disappear for a few days, telling you that rooms
Money.
are disappearing. It's not they're there.
The FOMO that
But
they
it's-
create,
It's not
right?
Again,
disappearing
Yeah.
everybody.
As a sale technique to push you to buy.
So what is the right way of actually booking then if you had to share that trick?
To me, it's always good to check more than one platform.
Okay.
I would encourage also calling your travel agent,
Right.
because sometimes these travel agents have very good deals, and with these chains, global chains,
Right.
they
Correct.
get very good discounts. And then
Right.
the last thing is you check the website of the actual property,
Right.
and then you call.
Ah.
Once you call, you'll be able to take a decision that what is the best price. And sometimes if you call, they'll give you that extra thing that makes a difference. So you won't get a discount, but you might get 2 meals.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
an
or an upgrade. Yeah,
or,
exactly.
or an upgrade, exactly.
Yeah,
They'll tell you if you buy this, you're eligible for an upgrade. We might throw in a car to receive you from the airport.
Yeah.
And it doesn't hurt, it takes some time, but
Yeah.
you could do a proper research and then take an educated decision.
So talking about platforms, if I'm not mistaken, you also join hands with Get Your Guide during
True.
ITP Berlin, right? So how do platforms like this enhance the tourism experience, and what other platforms, verified platforms, are there that you would recommend?
So last year, we've signed one of the most important agreements throughout our 3 years tenure. And it's with a company called PrioTicket. And their technology is basically called Channel Manager. There are many channel managers in the sphere of travel, tourism, airlines. This specific channel manager, PrioTicket, is so unique because it does only activities. So they don't do accommodation, they don't do aviation-related products.
Just experiences.
And
activities.
they're already connected to the biggest 2,500 aggregators and OTAs and tour operators in the world, the likes of Get Your Guide. And what happens if you connect through PrioTicket and you feed the products to PrioTicket, it digitally distributes your products on a global scale. So imagine you being an SME or even an entrepreneur that owns one product. If you connect with us today at Visit Oman, we push your product to PrioTicket. PrioTicket will push it to Get Your Guide. And this is where you get the benefit of technology here, and what is our core basically is digital distribution. This is what we've been trying to achieve from day one, but it took us a while because we needed to build all these technology backbone, and then these wonderful partnerships with suppliers, do the quality issues. Now we're ready to take all the wonderful partners, products, to a global scale. Get Your Guide is very unique because it's one of the most, I would say, known brands for activities on a global scale. And in a lot of countries, they're number one when it comes to activities. So people, when they land or before they land the destination, they will check Get Your Guide, and they will look for the best experience. We've already uploaded around 10 products on the technology of Prior Ticket, and now we're distributing those products to 10 different apps and OTAs. One of them is Get Your Guide. We're super excited about the Get Your Guide opportunity, and we have this vision of hitting 100 experiences by next year.
Wow.
So to distribute this at scale and make the Omani product available. Again, why is this important? There is a lot of collaboration with the Ministry of Heritage and Tourism, and they are spearheading the destination marketing for Oman. We're into the product development and distribution. So imagine if you're sitting anywhere in the UK or Europe, and you see this lovely, advertisement about Oman. Usually, you would tend to check Google or read about it, or if there is a call to action, a digital advertisement, you would click and it will take you to a landing page.
Right.
But once you do something serious about searching for products, you go to the platform of choice, your brand that you trust, be it Get Your Guide or other brands. We need to be ready. Our products need to be connected and pushed to these platform of choice. Because if we don't do that, there is this missed opportunity of the ministry, the government doing their job, but then the private sector kind of missed on that opportunity. So now there is this huge push from our end to have the product available with the biggest brands from travel tech companies. Once we've able to do that, then we can get a lot of data. What did they like? What went well? What didn't go well? Reviews, and that's a very big area of interest for us, because through reviews you could refine enhance these experiences.
Right.
Lovely.
Is there I don't know if I'm allowed to ask this question or not, but recently we traveled to a country where English was not the first language, okay? And it often gets difficult to communicate if you don't know the local language. So we happened to go to this place where there was this young chap, must have been in his early 20s, who took us around, and he said that he's done this tourism course where he reads and he studies everything about the places that people generally want to visit, and then he does that part-time. Okay, my question here is, do we have anything of that sort here in Oman, or are we looking at it in kind of promoting it, or how do we really not choose but see that, okay, this is going to be your guide, or this is the person who's going to take you around, or he's the one who's going to be sharing all the experience? Because I found it very fascinating. It was really nice. It was a great concept, because a young chap with his energy and showing you around the city, and it looked pretty confident with the stuff that he knew, and he was doing like part-time. So he was going to college also, but he was doing this as well. So yeah.
So there are few programs at the level of the Ministry of Education.
Okay.
A while ago, the concept of introducing French language. English is already taught.
Yeah.
And then I trying to identify what are the other languages that we need to focus on for tourism-related purposes. You have German language, and then you have also courses at the university level, and then you're complementing that also with proper training for tour guides. There is a lot of work that's been done by the government and some few private entities that are introducing these courses. What we're trying to do also now through our partners, try to understand what other languages that are needed.
Right.
We started some activities in the Spanish market.
Nice.
And now we're trying to understand if there are, if it's feasible to introduce Spanish as a second language to schools, to colleges, and then link them with operators from Spain so they can start making business with them directly. It's very exciting, in my opinion, and there's great work been done by the government, but I think also the private sector needs to play a role. They need to invest in this area and create these success stories with some local individuals. Sometimes it happens, I don't want to say by coincidence, but organically. In Nizwa, we know of one young guy that never took a third language lesson. So he knows Arabic and English because of schooling.
Yeah.
He speaks five languages.
Wow.
And he's done that without taking a single lesson.
Wow.
By interacting with tourists that walks in his father's shop.
No
Amazing.
way.
And now he speaks fluently just by picking up the language and trying himself to interact. So, and to me, there is this interesting angle there of doing things organically.
Right.
Is this scalable? I'm yet to find out. But in my opinion, I think we have the right, I would say, raw talent. It's just molding that raw talent to reach the needed set of skills.
Right, lovely. Salalah?
Yeah. I'm just waiting to discuss all about Salalah now. So, what do we have for Salalah for Khareef this year? There's a lot of talk, there's a lot of news that it's the very first year for the Khareef season, Khareef festival to be celebrated for 90 days.
Yes.
And like from what we have seen in the last year is just a month or month and a half. But this time, first time ever, 3 months. How prepared are we?
So I think it's a very smart move by the FAR government and the municipality of the FAR. Everything is set there. There is years and years of experience that accumulated down south. From a readiness perspective, you have the best hotels, best resorts, best operators. And then you have lovely weather during Khareef. But not a lot of people know that post-Khareef, a Sarb season is very pleasant. And basically what happens is you have the clouds disappear, you have the sun, but then the temperature is already still. So, some people or some segments come from rainy countries.
Correct.
Why would they go to a rainy country for their summer vacation?
Yeah, true that.
But then when you tell them, look at this picture, and you know what, it's not rainy anymore. It's dry. That's another offering. The government and of the FAR and the municipality have been promoting Sarb for a while now. But now they took this decision of, you know what, let's just expand the season. And it plays really well because once that season ends, not a lot of people know that the European season starts, which is larger than Khareef. Last year alone, one company did 400 charter flights from Europe to Salalah.
Wow.
And that's the high season for the FAR and for Salalah. Now combine that with summer, and you have an all year round destination that does GCC, domestic, but does also Europe.
Yeah.
It's very exciting because to me now we'll get to see the FAR with its full potential, taking advantage of all the wonderful offerings that they have, but then taking that for a full 12 months instead of few weeks. A year.
Talk about the price hikes now. We always used to see the time period after
like
Khareef
Khareef
gets
now
over.
it's going to be high.
No, Khareef is going to, that's why the hotel prices are that high. Now we won't be able to see the next following 2 weeks also because it's a part of the whole season, right? So
the trick there is pre-planning, to be honest with you.
Perfect.
Through different partnerships that we've established, especially in the European market, we've discovered companies that sell experiences a year and a half in advance.
People really pre-plan.
That's a lot of planning.
It's a culture.
Yeah.
Basically, here in GCC, a lot of people are last minute. So we sit here and we're like,
we got two people right here.
should we go to Salalah? Sure, let's check. No, it's expensive. Yes, it's expensive.
You know what tends to happen is like the more you see it on Instagram or your friends visiting there, oh, this one's going to Salalah. What are we doing? We're missing out on that. We should be going right away.
But if you plan ahead, trust me, the price range would be different. Another approach would be not as easy as said, but it's doable. If you're able to convince 10 people, with 10 rooms, there is a very significant discount that you can get because you travel in group. The airline would identify 9+ as a group.
Right.
The hotel will identify 9+ as a group. And then if you get a nice discount on the airline, a nice discount on the accommodation, you could spend the rest of the money on experiences, which matters. That matters the most, basically.
Yeah, and Salalah, for that matter, is beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you've been to Salalah during the Khareef season. I went quite recently, in fact, just a year and a half or 2 years back. I must have gone, and it's breathtaking, and the views that you see there,
It smells different.
yeah, it's. But there's one problem there.
Why?
There are a lot of mosquitoes there.
Oh yeah, that's different. That's different. They can't
And
have
by
it
the
all.
way, quite surprisingly, while I was there, I didn't feel it at all that I've been bitten by
You
a mosquito.
come back and then you're
when
like,
you
what
come
happened?
back is when you see that. Like, I'm sure even you must have heard people talk about
It's not
that.
your regular mosquito.
Yeah.
I think the local dialect is called Arnout.
Okay.
And it's this very noisy insect that loves
It wasn't noisy enough
humans.
because I didn't know when did it come and bite and just go away.
Yeah, well, you could get rid of it with any, insects repellent.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
just need to remember.
It's
it.
okay. We can
I
deal
was
with
just
it.
smart enough of saying, no, I don't need it. I should have just applied that mosquito repellent and I would have been saved with that. Yeah.
Good. So how many visitors are we expecting this season, by the end of the
So
season?
last year they were only few thousands away from 1 million. And this is few weeks. Now you double that
90 days
90 days. I'm pretty sure there are great plans
Yeah.
from the Ministry of Heritage and Tourism and the government of Dhofar, the municipality of Dhofar, and many operators. And I'm comfortable saying that I think we will exceed 1 million.
Amazing.
Wow.
And of course, there's so much to do, so much to see.
Yeah.
What top highlights for Salalah?
So I like your comment. When you go there, it's very different.
Yes.
And to me, if I talk about my personal experience, you immediately kind of switch off because you're coming, from the heat. And then once what I love about the experience, even when you drive, you see this. You see this wall of clouds right in front of you, and you get into it, and then it's all green.
Yeah.
And then the
Yeah,
same when
it's
you
true.
drive, it's very strange phenomenon. You drive and then you see the beginning of the mountain, and there is this invisible line of the clouds won't go in front of this line. It starts next to the mountain, and it forms this beautiful natural line. And then you go in, and it's again full green, full clouds,
Yeah.
misty. So a lot of people enjoy just driving around
Oh, yes.
and then parking anywhere, literally. You just take your chairs, table.
You actually see families enjoying that weather there, that they have that little picnic going on with kids playing, and it's just beautiful. That whole experience is just wow.
I agree. It's a picnic heaven. You go out every day, and it's never boring. But then also from food perspective, the offering is very different. The experience there is very different, and you have these cheerful, locals who would greet you and would describe to you what are you eating, how did they kill it.
Very Instagrammable there.
Yes, the scenery. You see the coconut trees next to the
You're
ocean.
welcomed with that as soon as you get out of the airport.
The sand color texture is very different. The hotels are exceptional. And then if you're into spas, also there is a lot of good spas there. From an adventure, hiking, biking, 4x4, never a dull moment there.
Yeah. One thing though I also felt was that in terms of going to certain places, there was quite a busy traffic.
Yes.
Do we have any plans to address that or to solve that? Because if a person is going there for 3 days, out of which one day, half a day you're stuck in the traffic, or not half a day, that's a little exaggeration.
As much ground as possible.
The simplest trick you can use, avoid rush hours. Because this is what we do. You go early and you come back early to the hotspots. And then you spend the rest of the day in areas that are not very crowded, like Al-Marsil. Everyone would go same timing, and then they're surprised with the traffic. Try to avoid it. Go very early, because you'll still get the same experience. Because it's cloudy, it's misty. It's not like I'm going to avoid the sun. You don't see the sun for three months. One thing I also missed on from things that you can do, from a history perspective, there is a lot of places that holds historic significance in Dhofar, and you can find people who tell you what is this, who is buried here, what's the story behind this place, and we have these mini expeditions of people who actually come from across the world to travel to look at certain things. A couple of years ago, a local newspaper wrote about a study that was done by the Mormons, where they looked at Murbat, and it's basically this description of a similar place in their Bible that looks like exactly like Murbat. So we started getting Mormons in Murbat. And then it's very interesting if you're basically into history, into cultures. There is a different angle there. It's not about adventure. And it's interesting, it's intriguing, and a lot of people find it, the level of curiosity differs from one person to another. And to me, that angle is very interesting.
There's another very interesting spot in Salalah, which we went to last time, and we made a lot of videos and we spoke about it. It's the zero gravity zone or the area where you actually put your car on neutral and it does move.
It picks up speed.
Yeah, and without anyone driving, we actually shot that video, keeping all the safety measures in mind. Yeah, but it was pretty cool. Why aren't we talking so much about it?
Yeah, the interesting part that it goes uphill. And this is what is strange about it, and it's a natural phenomenon.
Yeah.
There, I would advise everyone to go and test it. And
yeah, because it is quite an experience there.
There is actually another spot, a very, very, very small strip, and you know where it is? It's when you're coming down from Kantab. I don't know if anyone's actually tried it. When you come down from Kantab, you take right towards Bustan. There's a really, really, a little stretch there where you actually park your car and actually pulls you up. So
we'll have to test it.
Yes, that's in Muscat itself, so we can totally try that.
New.
This is new.
And thank you for telling me that there is nothing wrong in that place. But it's
not haunted.
Yeah, it's not haunted at all. It is pretty okay because it's one of that zero gravity spots.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So we've understood what are the things to do. Did you mention Wadi Darbat? Because that's beautiful.
Yes, the wadis there, the lagoons, the waterfalls.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Is that the image on your LinkedIn? Which one is that? The cover. It's a waterfall, and I know it's Salalah.
Probably yes.
Yes. Talk about stalking here. Someone studied the LinkedIn profile in depth before.
I did.
No, yes, that's definitely Salalah. Yes, I remember the picture.
Okay, so these are the usual places that you would go to. Okay.
Yes.
Are there any hidden gems that you would advise that if you have been to Salalah once, twice, thrice, and this time if you're visiting again, make sure that you try this?
Yeah, so to me, one thing that not a lot of people know about Salalah, and mainly Dhofar also, is post-Khareef. When you go during Khareef, you'll notice that the ocean, you can't swim in the ocean. It's very dangerous. It gets very rough. But then post-Khareef, it's one of the most pleasant ocean you'll ever experience. Clouds disappear, the temperature is really cool, the sand, and you could literally snorkel for hours. You don't even need the gear to scuba dive, and you see really beautiful ocean creatures. It's one of the best spots in the region for scuba diving and for snorkeling. And to me, I would advise people also to try it. The other thing that not a lot of people are maybe they're aware but they're not willing to do is don't limit Khareef to Salalah. There is a lot of great cities outside of Salalah that are as beautiful as Salalah. And they have really good hotels. One of the best resorts actually down south is in Murbat, Alila, Hinobe. One of a kind, resort. The way that it was built is very unique. It has many different options there, and then their crown jewel is your private villa with a pool that looks over the ocean.
What else could you ask for?
And then it's not mass, so there isn't a big number. So you have this exclusivity feeling also when you go there. And to me, that's a very good option. Yes, it's 80 kilometers away, but to me, that's nothing
totally
worth the experience.
Yeah.
Talking about, do you have anything on Salalah?
I had this question. So you're saying that Salalah gets busy during the Khareef season. Yeah. I'm sure even the people, the locals there, the people working in the hotels, they're very busy during this. How do they strike a balance when it comes to those 3 months in comparison to the other 9 that we are talking about? Because then it's not that busy, and the manpower that you need to run for those 90 days is going to be very different from what you need for the rest of the 9 months.
Yeah. So a lot of people think it's not busy.
Okay.
In some
I'm
of
one
these
them
months, the occupancy in some hotels exceed 100%.
What? Without Khareef?
And it's the European season. And as mentioned previously, 400 chartered flights in 2023 came only from Europe. They flew in just to go to Salalah, not through Muscat, directly. And this is a very unique season for many countries across Europe.
Yeah.
But because Khareef is so famous in the region,
Yeah.
people think that it's the only season in the far.
Yeah.
And then, the temperature is hot here, but it's cool there. These countries, it's already cool. So there isn't anything new if you tell them it's a cool weather. They come because it's very pleasant.
Need some sun.
State-of-the-art hotels and resort.
Yeah.
And then a beautiful ocean.
Yeah. In terms of the various performances or the events lined up for those 90 days, something that's very, there's a full-fledged plan, I heard.
Yes.
Can you share some details about that with us?
So for us, we're waiting for the details to be honest with you, but I know there is a massive carnival that took place.
Okay.
And one of the details that was shared publicly was there is a lot of concerts.
Right. I actually wanted to know about
Yeah,
that.
and my guess there'll be big names
Right.
that come to Salalah maybe for the first time.
Yeah.
We're as much as excited as everyone because we can cater to more groups
Yeah.
if we get these different activations and different angles to sell the far.
Yeah. I was actually talking to a few of our Omani colleagues here in the office, and when I was planning the whole trip to Salalah, everybody, jumped in there, you should try this, you should try this. And one very interesting thing came that you're going to all the way to Salalah, make sure that you buy some frankincense from there.
Yes.
It's true that it's very different and it's
Land of
in terms of,
frankincense.
and
In terms of quality, it's probably ranked one of the best frankincense globally.
Wow.
And then the beauty of that is the history. It's known that the pharaohs used to get their frankincense from the far. So there is a bit of storytelling, and then you have different types. You should make sure that you get the type that you like. And what is also good about frankincense, it's medicinal. So there is a lot of incense that you burn, and you're not advised to be in the room when you burn it. You get the smell there, but you leave when you burn it. But with frankincense, it's actually medicinal. It's good to inhale some of the
Eat
types.
even.
They use it for food. They use it for drinks. They use it for medicine. And then there is a very important angle there. It's cultivated by locals. So when you buy, you basically contribute into the sustainability of the region there. You're buying local produce by local farmers.
Yeah. Is there anything else that we should add on to the list when we go to Salalah?
Definitely try the coconut.
Oh, yes. Yes.
And then for the meat lovers, make sure that you go to the souk and find the people that cook the traditional way over stone.
Okay.
It tastes so different. The experience is very unique, very different.
Oh, nice. Interesting. All right. So I have my list of Salalah that we done. What are the things that
What you
can
do
be
in
done?
Salalah this
Absolutely.
time?
Yeah. Okay. Talking about Salalah, of course, we have this upper hand when we, not the upper hand, but obviously we have these unique experiences. We have these various places to visit. Now, there is this talk about that with one visa, you can travel multiple GCC countries, right? Let's call it the GCC Schengen, as of now, till the time it gets approved and it gets valid. How do we take advantage of that? Do you think that that's good for us, not good for us? Take me through that.
So imagine if you are traveling from North America or Australia to the region for the first time. Imagine if you want to visit two countries. That's two separate visas, two separate costs, two separate processes. And then you need to build your itinerary, apply the details just to get the visa. And then imagine if you want to visit three countries, the hassle of applying for three different visas on three different systems, cost wise. It starts getting from a user experience, not the best experience.
Right.
And then from a cost, the feasibility is not great. You take that all away.
Okay.
One
so
process, cost effective, and then from a process user experience, it's the best.
Right.
And then from a planning perspective, so you get the visa, you're here, and you like it.
Yeah.
Like, okay, let's extend and go to Saudi Arabia.
Ah.
You don't need to worry about it. You could do the entire region with one visa, and this is the beauty of this visa. We're very much excited with this united approach for the visa. Unification of the processes is very important, and hopefully we'll see the results.
We will be using this to our advantage.
Definitely.
Of course.
By having more days right here and going and experiencing all the unique.
Definitely, and we get asked a lot of questions about visa processing on our platform. If we can integrate that system into our own booking engine, that would be a wonderful user experience where you could buy a package and then you're granted the visa automatically. That's one of the best options that anyone can go through.
Any experiences that a person can only experience it here in Oman and not any other GCC?
It gets tricky, but I think one unique thing that we have are the wadis. The wadis are very unique. Deserts, the color of the sand maybe is different here. And then Jabal.
Place to place.
Dive in definitely, but then you have the Red Sea there. But then Jabal Akhdar. You know, Jabal Akhdar is the highest peak in the region here. From a temperature perspective, the terrain perspective, the agriculture perspective, even local experience when you interact is so different than anywhere. Yes.
Incredibly.
And then they're highly educated. I was in the Sogara village last week, and it's 500-year-old. The same family lived there for 350 years. Same tribe.
Whoa!
And then they moved out.
Story.
Yeah, they moved out in 2014 from the old part of town to build bigger houses. And then few of their children, they said, we can't abandon this. So they agreed that we will activate this. And they started with one room and started adding different experiences. Now they have 11 rooms, if I'm not mistaken, and few coffee shops. And they cater around your needs when you book. So when we went there, we went for lunch. So the lunch was cooked in one of the houses by one of the...
Very authentic experience.
Yes. And then... because it's a hike down and then it's a wadi and then it's a hike up. It's very difficult to carry your luggage or anything else that has a weight. So they built the zip line between the two mountains.
Smart.
From the first part of the new part of the village to the old part of Sogra. And they zip everything there, be it your luggage or be it your lunch. They're very smart, very innovative.
Very.
They claim that you could use it for humans, but it's not advisable.
Let's not try that right now.
If you're adrenaline junkie, then that'd be a very interesting experience.
Talking about the whole culture and heritage, of course, Sur, as we discussed, it was the Arab tourism capital of 2024. But I've heard that there's a specific town or little place in Sur that still holds on to how it was years back. Tell me about that place. What is the name? I can't recollect the name.
So with Sur, the city, and then you have a Sharqiya region.
Right.
And Sur extends to include many different things. So if you make the effort and go to Sur, don't stop only in Sur. And then from a history perspective, they're very famous when it comes to marine life.
Correct.
Marine
the maritime
heritage,
history.
Maritime, yes. One of the most interesting things that you can come across in the region, especially in Oman, is the ship building.
Correct.
And it's one of the few places that still have the people
wooden
that
ships.
actually wooden ship. And that's an experience that you can go through, where you go into the factory and you see the team building an actual ship, and you get to experience that. But then from a historic perspective also, you have a lot of places that dates back to hundreds of years. You could also, one of the most rewarding experiences is a 30-kilometer drive to Ras Al Jins. A historic place, but it's not the history alone, it's the turtles. And they have this really beautiful resort where you could go and you see the hatching of the eggs. And they go to the ocean and you experience that. And they show you turtles that came back because they tag them 20 years after. After they have left the same exact spot to lay eggs after 20 years. And you start wondering, what type of GPS do these use? Because they go around the world. They monitored them, and then they come back to this place. And to me, that's another unique experience that you don't get to.
It's a beautiful experience, especially when it's like absolutely dark, and when they go towards like those tiny ones.
And you can't use your flashlights, nothing. You just have to like.
Yeah, and it's and they're huge, right? So it's quite an experience there.
Yeah.
So we had actually we've driven down to Sur. We had this entire trip planned. So we drove down Sur, and we halted in Sur for a bit, and then when we went ahead to Bidya and all, what I noticed was there are a lot of new, these chalets and these homestays that have come up. And I think they're really nice because for maybe a bigger family who doesn't want to rent an entire suite in a hotel and stuff, this is great, and it gives a more private experience. All of them have pools.
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty much all the chalets, all of them have a pool.
Nice.
So how do you, what is your take on these establishments?
So through the collaboration with the Ministry of Heritage and Tourism, we started an exercise with a global technology provider, one of the best operators in Europe, called Antara Doormat. And basically, Antara Doormat does a wonderful job in bringing up short stays digitally and then distributing them on a global scale. Antara Doormat also have very strict rules when it comes to quality assurance. They don't allow anyone to upload their property on their platform. They have these quality checks that you have to go through. It's very close to renting out a hotel room. So they care about the details when it comes to the offering. And I fully agree with you. When it comes to offering, people don't always want a hotel. And for us, it's very interesting because you have areas that doesn't have hotels. But then you have these beautiful houses and you don't know about them because they're not on a booking engine. And this is what we're trying now to introduce through the wonderful technology of Antara Doormat. We want to sign up these unique houses, unique farms, unique apartments, upload them on the platform, and then Antara Doormat is already connected to the biggest 40 aggregators on a global scale, and they can distribute that. From a product availability perspective, options perspective, that's what we're trying to achieve, is scaling up and having these wonderful properties. That opens another door for tourism-related activities. So if you establish a new area and you have very nice houses and you start getting people there, you could talk to local SMEs and you can tell them, listen, we can bundle things together. Because the accommodation it's taken care of. What else can you give me where I can sell to this consumer? To this guy who's already here, this family, kayaking, dune bashing, you have, if we talk about Sur, a 2-hour drive will take you to one of the most famous valleys, Wadi Khalid. Another wonderful there. So imagine if you're greeted by a local, and then you could add lunch, add a drive,
It's a package.
It's a package, but it's not a hotel.
Yes.
It's short stays.
And actually, people even look forward to such experiences, which is like,
it's
if you're
personal,
going to a new country, you want to experience their culture, how they live, how they cook, how technically it happens, right?
That takes me to another thing that I think Oman is doing really well, especially the ministry, is heritage houses. Because then the host is a local, like you said, is a local, and then they greet you, you stay with them, you eat with them, and you get to get the real authentic experience.
Absolutely.
And how is Under the Doormat different from Airbnb?
So Under the Doormat, from a quality perspective, is more towards the high end.
Okay.
Their technology helps the owner with property management, even the financial part.
Okay.
And then if we talk about differences, you have Airbnb, one channel. Under Doormat, they have their own booking engine, but then they're connected to 40 different channels, including Airbnb.
Okay.
And then it's your decision as an owner. Do you want it only on Under the Doormat, or you want to distribute, including Booking.com?
Right.
They're already connected there. But it depends on you as a user, where do you want your property to be highlighted and show a case. So instead of me signing up with 40 different companies, I sign with one. And their model is unique because it's subscription. So they don't take anything from sales. They have this fixed amount that you pay every month, and then the rest of sales is all for you as an owner.
Right.
And
Which
then
makes more sense even.
makes more sense, and then it distribute at scale.
Right. So I feel even these little homestays and chalets, they've actually opened up the opportunity for people to explore more, because now they have a place to stay, so they can go explore the desert a little bit or explore some place that they haven't explored.
With the right
earlier.
guidance as well.
With the right guidance, you don't want to get lost.
Yeah.
But I also feel there's certain places which is best to just leave alone. Would you agree to that? Like for example, Bar Al Hikman. Right now it has only 2 places. I think there's a Whalehead camp and something else on the 2 sides of the island. And if you go there, those places are it blends with the environment. It doesn't stand out. So do you think that a luxury hotel should come over there, or should it just be the way it is?
So again, if you remember when we've talked about Oman tourism strategy, it's not built around mass. And there is this real belief that if we want people to enjoy our country, we can't just fill it with 5 stars and 4-star hotels in every single beautiful beach. And I agree with you, especially the Al Wusta region. You drive for hundreds of kilometers and you don't see anything but nature. And this is one of the charms of Oman, where people enjoy this, where you go there and it's your private beach, but you don't pay for it.
Yeah.
We recognize this is an opportunity there, and it's part of the offering. Is this going to change? I have no idea. We'll have to wait and see.
Just wait and watch.
But all these places, actually, you should be going with a person who has good enough experience, who knows exactly
Who's not going to get
that
you lost.
right turn or that left turn. Yeah, and if your GPS gets like
Because you barely get signal there even.
exactly my point. Actually, our chairman is into like all the desert, like even in his dreams he must be like he would know the exact route. Yeah, so if you have to take any advice, of course we go to him. But then not everybody has the same chairman like how we do, right? So then if somebody's planning their trips to Bar Al Hikman or to these places, like going into the desert, empty quarters and all of that without an experienced person, would you advise that? Or if not, what should they keep in mind?
I mean, it's not very dangerous if you know how to drive really well, 4x4 specifically.
Yeah.
But you need to do a lot of reading, and you need to go prepared. So don't go there assuming that it's a breeze. I'll drive, I'll point, and I will read. No.
Yeah.
Let's not rely on the North Star. We're like, yeah, I know.
We might end up in UAE border, Saudi, Yemen, because it's all connected. The empty quarter is all connected. So just do your homework. Nothing dangerous there. It's the exact opposite. It's very pleasant. Empty quarter is, I think, one of the most unique areas in the world.
Yeah.
It's very different than anything else that you can experience. But if you're into adventure, don't just take your car and go there. Be prepared, take extra precautions, and then read and prepare yourself for that. And you need to know how to drive and maneuver with sand.
Yeah. Another question I wanted to ask, over the years, I'm sure that how we look at tourism, Oman tourism, the whole thing has really changed. Okay. How much does Oman tourism contribute to Oman's economy?
So at the moment, it's 2.4% from the national GDP, with a target of 5% by 2030 in few years. But also there is the element of job creation there that is very important strategically. And we know for a fact that when it comes to different industries, one of the biggest industries that generate jobs is tourism. And this is on a global scale.
Correct.
And I think we're headed in the right direction. Same with creating in-country value, SME opportunities. The options are endless. Yeah. And if we could explain it easier, imagine a hotel. To me, a hotel is a catalyst.
Okay.
You build it, and let's take Duqm, for instance.
Right.
There was nothing there a couple of years ago. Umran Group decided to build the Crown Plaza.
Yeah.
First hotel there.
Yeah.
Immediately, when you build a hotel, you have operators, restaurants, drivers.
Right.
And the list goes on and on and on of different services that are required, that are automatically generated for local entrepreneurs and local SMEs.
Correct.
That can be definitely scaled up. Through different initiatives that the hotel can drive, or the government can incentivize. Now imagine if all the hotels buy local. That's another initiative that the ministry and Umran are working on.
Wow.
Then you have all the farms produce, sold even before they harvest. Because they know for a fact
Farm to
that
table.
it's all, and they know exactly the quality
Yeah.
of the hotel,
Yeah.
the quantity of the
Yeah.
hotel,
Yeah.
timeline, when do they need it, what type of product, how often, seasonality.
Yeah.
That helps a lot. And this
Yeah.
is one of the plans for the government, the ministry,
Yeah.
and Umran Group.
Yeah.
Right.
So now that we know that it plays such an important role for a country's economy as well, if you had to share a few plans with us as to what exactly are we doing in the next 5 years or 10 years, like you said that, okay, by 2030 or by 2040, this is how it's going to be. Can you share a few of those with us?
So we do have the True North in terms of vision 2040 for the country. And then we have another vision for tourism. We know what we're trying to reach by 2040. What I can speak about is basically my organization, Visit
Yes.
Oman,
Yeah.
and maybe some of the plans of Umran.
Yeah.
Umran, first 15 years of their life concentrated on building,
Okay.
resorts, establishing new hotels, taking the first risk in new areas that where the private sector doesn't see feasibility, but then the Umran, as the sector developer will walk in and with the ministry supervision will establish a building, a
Right.
hotel, a resort.
Right.
And that's the first 15 years.
Okay.
Now, the vision of the board and vision of the group CEO, Dr. Hashil Al-Mahrouqi, is to concentrate on experiences around the properties.
Nice.
And what they've done last year is the launch of a program called Najm.
Okay.
Najm translates to star. And they gave 250 fresh graduates the opportunity to become a Najm graduate. And Najm graduate basically goes through this intensive 6 months training program
Okay.
to become a professional tour guide or a tour operator.
Lovely.
Oh, wow.
And basically these individuals are from all the regions.
Yeah.
And the first batch would go and will get an opportunity to work with Umran hotels.
Lovely.
And basically
nice.
is you already have the hotel,
Right.
you already have the tourist,
Yeah.
the guest at the hotel.
Yeah.
What are the different opportunities that these guests are looking for?
Yeah.
Be it a pickup from
Yeah.
the airport,
Yeah.
be it an experience ocean related, be it I want someone to cook me something in the
Yeah.
middle of the desert. Umran did a phenomenal job in mapping out all the opportunities and then training these individuals on these opportunities.
Oh, nice.
So now when you travel, we go back to Duqm, in few weeks, you will find someone who's located at the hotel who's ready to serve you in terms of experiences.
And he really knows everything
Yeah.
about the place.
Yes.
Yeah, because
And
he's
then-
been trained for it, right?
Yeah.
And then they're from the local community.
Yeah. Oh.
So there is this also the authentic
Yeah, they speak
twist
from their
to
heart.
it.
Yeah.
You take that and you scale it up,
Yeah.
and then you have these many different operators that can start as startup but then grow to become medium to large operators. The other thing also that Umran have been doing greatly the past 3 years is pinpoint unique operators that would add value if they come into the country.
Okay.
We've been grateful in getting, the Marriotts, the IHGs, the Hyatt, all the big names. But who else can we target to bring another segment, a unique segment? And you might have seen, the big announcement that came out 2 to 3 weeks ago, where it's the first time in the history of Club Med, they will establish a resort in the Middle East.
Yeah.
And they picked Oman, and then from all places, they picked Musandam.
Whoa.
This was all facilitated, by the government and by Umran,
Yeah.
and they've signed, the agreement a couple
Yeah.
of weeks ago. And by 2028, hopefully, we'll get our first Club Med. Why Club Med is important? Club Med is one of the big 4 operators on a global scale, and the level of communication and marketing they put is massive, and they create destinations on their own through their property, and this is a return of investment immediately that takes place in any destination that convinces Club Med to come and operate from. There are many other exciting announcements that Umran are working on in the next few months and years.
So on that note, Arabian travel market just got down a couple of weeks ago. What were some important outcomes, immediate outcomes and partnerships that were formed?
The biggest partnership was signing a collaboration agreement with the Emirates airline. Why is this significant for us? You're talking about one of the biggest airlines and one of the most successful airlines globally that connects the Eastern hemisphere with the Western hemisphere of the entire planet. 300 destinations, cities that they fly to, and the potential is massive to push Oman through the network of Emirates. The idea is basically an MOU that would lead hopefully into an agreement, and a co-marketing campaign might be a result that will go through the destinations of choice that we agree between us and Emirates. And then Dubai being a hub, we want to capture part of that hub to come to Oman. So who better than Emirates to bring people from Dubai to Oman? It's one of the most successful airlines in the world, and we're very much excited and looking forward what this partnership will pan out hopefully soon.
Amazing. So again, you support a lot of establishments who are trying to establish Oman as a key destination, whether it's small SMEs, chalets, everything. Now, there are also a lot of international bloggers who come here, and they share some beautiful videos which gets other people to come. Do you also collaborate with such people?
Yes. So travel bloggers and travel influencers is an area of interest for us. But then we're trying to, we're going to do this because we've tested it, we piloted it, and it's successful. And a lot of destinations you will notice started doing. So basically you host a travel influencer and take them through a real experience that is a package that you can sell. And then that individual would promote
and talk about it
and sell it. And there is the catch here. If we talk about what's happening on social media, now you used to have e-commerce. Now you have m-commerce, which is mobile related commerce. There are many different platforms. We all remember how Instagram started, sharing pictures. Now it's one of the biggest marketplaces in the world. People sell everything and anything on that platform. Why not sell experiences?
Right.
These individuals are already followed by hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions of people who are interested in travel because they're specialized. They're not your regular influencer. They're specialized in travel.
Yeah, because they're the trusted ones.
Yes.
So they want to go through the same experiences, what they have on that trip.
You'll get your social media influencer who has hundreds of millions, but then everyone follows that individual, including kids. And kids don't have the purchasing power to buy an experience.
It's the quality of the followers matter.
Yeah, the quality and then the type and the demographic. That's the target. And basically the plan is very easy. We get this travel influencer. We take him through the experience. He, she would market, sell, and then the catch is he's a travel guide with the group that will travel. So he's the host.
Wow.
We've tested this and we've received very good feedback. And now we want to explore this further because they already capture the market. The followers are there. They're willing to pay. Might as well just give them something very special. And then they're traveling someone that they trust, someone that they like. And this opportunity that I will interact with someone that I enjoy watching on a screen, I get to meet them.
Because they are
it's
the
like a
little
celebrity
celebrities.
thing.
Yes. Anyways, there's little celebrities in your head, right? Because you follow them so often, like on regular basis, you see what the stuff they're doing. You feel like you know them already, and then when you get a chance to meet them, wow, that's a lovely idea.
And it's already started with a lot of people that do this. Come travel with me. This is the cost. It includes 1, 2, 3, 4. And people are willing to pay because of that trust, that brand, the individual himself. And they want to be with them. They want to take picture with them, and then they already saw the experience. And they like it. Like, okay, I'm willing to pay for this. Might as well travel with the guy that recommended it because I trust this individual, I trust this lady.
It's brilliant.
We want to introduce that concept to Oman, but then we're a bit picky on who to work
Of course,
with.
quality.
From a quality perspective,
Right.
and then just anything can go wrong, and we don't want to
Yeah.
Of course.
basically look at this experience and say why the hell did we do
Yeah.
No, of course,
Yeah,
because
fair
it's
enough.
the country's image that
Yeah.
you're putting at stake, so you can't risk it.
Yeah, true
So,
that.
yeah.
Oh, that's quite a thing that we discovered there.
Yeah.
I have another question. In the recent past, we have seen that Oman has been hosting a lot of these international level sport games here, right? Be it cricket, be it cycling, or be it any other sport games. Is it done consciously, or if I had to ask, how much that helps in boosting the tourism by hosting such international level games here?
So there are few specialized events that took place in Oman that are handpicked. You have the Oman Tour cycling,
Right.
which is a continuation of Tour de France, the most famous cycling event in the world, number one, I would say. And then you had a couple of years ago, pre-COVID, UTMB, which is a race in the mountain. Again, specialized there. And then there is an equivalent of UTMB for cycling in the mountain.
Yeah,
That took place pre-COVID. You have Muscat Marathon.
yeah.
Again, very nice collaboration. A couple of years ago, they had 600 runners. Today, we're hitting 10,000. And then to take it international, then you get the famous people to come join.
Yeah.
And then people will fly to Muscat, and then that becomes part of the global race map. People will go to London to race, they will go to Boston to race, they will go to Tokyo, and the Muscat might become a destination.
Right.
And the beauty of these events and the strategy behind it, they come for the event, and then they come back with their family for leisure.
Yeah.
And then remember, these are high yield travelers. So they spend money in the destination, they buy the ticket for the event, they buy the ticket that will, the airline ticket, and then the accommodation and transportation, and they spend on F&B. Many, I would say, destinations have done this successfully. I think Oman did a great job in specializing in few of these.
Right.
You hardly see any sailing related events in the region, but Oman is a champion on a global scale, and they've hosted the biggest sailing race in the world. The biggest is American Cup. That's like the creme de la creme of, when it comes to sailing. The other angle that Oman is introducing also is golf tournament.
Right.
Again, high yield,
Yeah.
sport. They come, they spend, they enjoy, and then they come back with their families for
And that's a pretty
leisure.
sophisticated
Yeah.
crowd.
That opened a new door for us,
Nice.
the golfing, because we got introduced to golf operators that does only golf tours.
Right.
And golf tours book a year and a half in advance.
Oh,
That's a very unique opportunity in our opinion, and they have their own quality checks that the destination must have before they activate it. And we've been working very close with a group of German golf operators
Wow.
that looked at Oman because of these
Yeah.
wonderful events that
Yeah.
took place.
Yeah. Oh, lovely. So that is
That's another
actually
thing.
helping to boost the
Yes,
tourism
definitely.
as well. Yeah.
Okay, so if someone were to Google, because we Google everything right now, yeah. So, when you Google when is the best time to visit Oman, they will say
Post September or September
October,
starting.
November to March, April. But we still have visitors during June, July, the peak season when it's like summer, when we probably don't leave our houses. But during this time, if someone were to travel, what kind of places, what kind of things could they do? What kind of places could they visit? I know Salalah is on the list.
Yeah, I was just like, come on, dude. We just spoke so much about
Salalah is on the
right?
list.
Yes.
What else can
So
they do in terms of activities?
definitely south, the Far region, Salalah and the other beautiful cities in the Far. But then the coastal line from Al-Wusta all the way to Sharqiyya, not a lot of people know that it's pleasant. It's below 30. It's sunny, it's windy, it's beautiful, and then the ocean there is beautiful there.
Wow.
You could do windsurfing, you could do camping, and many other activities. But then, to me, the competitive advantage if you're coming to Muscat is Jabal Al-Akhdar. Because you land, and then an hour and 45 minutes, you're in Jabal Al-Akhdar, temperature 25 degrees. You have Alila and Antara Garima too, with an integrated adventure
Yes.
park.
With the zip line.
The zip
It's not a lot,
line,
but
and
still.
then Indigo is about to go live really soon, and they have your mini villages, the Sogara and some other mini hotels coming up, and it's very pleasant if you're from the region. Let's take UAE. If you're driving them 4 or 5 hours, you're in Jabal Al-Akhdar. If you're flying, it's 40 minutes to Muscat, and then an hour and 40 minutes you're in Jabal Al-Akhdar. Even for a quick weekend getaway or a weekday getaway, if you, a matter of fact, it's a perfect place to be in because you don't have to worry about heat. The infrastructure is phenomenal. And then the hotels are wonderful. You get the culture, you get heritage there. If you're into outdoor activities, you're not stuck in the room. And then from an infrastructure, hotel related perspective, you get your own villa with a private pool overseeing a cliff on the highest mountain in the region. The other option, if you're into camping, is Jabal Shams. Again, a wonderful opportunity there if you're into nature. You take your car and you camp there for a few days. In some nights, it goes below 20. And it gets really cool. Sometimes hits 15, 14.
And the goats
degrees.
are so friendly.
Yeah, one of the most friendly goats you can.
Everyone has that.
You can
Even
find.
the donkeys. All of them.
Yeah, true. So true.
Okay, I know we've had this discussion before you came in. The entire team said no, do not ask this question, but I'm still going to go ahead. Maybe they will clip it later.
But I will the background music.
Yes, please.
No. What was I saying?
It's like something more, something which is like really, really scary. So now this is true. Like there is a certain population who, apart from the conventional tourism, they also like dark tourism, right? I am one of them. I literally go to every site when I visit a different country. So
nothing changed in his body language as soon as you said that.
I think this is a safe place.
Yeah.
So what is your take on that? I'm just going to keep it very open.
See, I don't have an experience, to be honest with you. You've heard the stories, I've heard the same stories. Did I experience something? Not really. Have I witnessed anything? No, not really, to be honest with you. If you Google stuff, you'll find something to read. We're yet to introduce that experience on our platform. Let's put it at that. And then
telling you will have a significant number of people who are going to be interested.
She has a set following. She will get all of them.
Yeah, if we find an operator who's willing to introduce it. The tricky part would be doing the quality assurance. I'm not sure how.
I didn't see anything, but it's there.
Yeah.
I didn't see anything.
You really? Oh, I would love to know the quality check on that one.
That would be very interesting.
To me, I think there is an angle maybe for storytelling.
Yes.
People are always fascinated.
Like the abandoned villages in Jabal Akhtar. Like, wow.
Yeah, but there isn't anything dark about it, you know. It's
there's
only
nothing dark, but there could be a story behind it.
Yeah, but people literally just moved on. Like Sogara,
that was literally
they moved in 2014, and then it took one individual, one of the sons, to say, you know what, I'll invest. And he took one room in 2020. And it just, he created this very lovely story. But going back to your question, does it exist? I have.
Okay, I have another crazy question, but let's assume that I'm not from this country. I don't live in Oman, and I'm from a very different country, and I've never visited Oman. And I'm sitting down with you, and I have this question that if you ever had to share a crazy story or something that stands out for Oman, or if you had to tell this person that, you know what, this happened in Oman, and I think next time you should have Oman on your list and you should come and visit us. What would you say?
So there is this famous cave a couple of years ago. I think it was the second largest in the world. Locally, it's called Majlis al-Jinn. And it's this hole in the middle of a mountain that goes down.
Looks really scary.
It's so big to the point that the base jumper, Felix, the guy who jumps from space, actually jumped this hole and opened the parachute. It's that big.
Whoa.
And it's very unique, very different. You could fit, I can't remember how many jumbo planes inside this place. And you do have individuals who would climb and go down all the way. To me, that's very, very unique and very different. Yeah. Another experience is swimming through some of natural holes that go inside the mountains. Has some water that ends up in the ocean. I wouldn't advise regular, not professional divers to do it, but basically you're swimming inside a mountain that has seawater, and you're diving, scuba diving, and you end up in the ocean. I know one guy who's a professional adventure operator who've done that in Hawiyat Najm.
Yeah.
Big hole, and he dived through it and ended up in the ocean.
Wow.
Again, that's something very unique.
Yeah.
Crossing the empty quarter
Yeah.
by camel, by horse, or walking. A few
Yeah.
individuals have done that. Again, something out of this world. From an endurance perspective, if people like to do it, then they have these options from ocean to mountain to desert.
Yeah.
And not a lot of people know that also we have forests down in the far that has endangered animals. I wouldn't advise you to go randomly, but one of the last Arabian leopards live there, and it's protected by law. And these are proper forests that are still there in the Arabian Peninsula.
Wow.
Wow.
Definitely things to do.
Come visit Oman. Okay, we've spoken about so many experiences. We've spoken about so many hidden gems. If I had to ask you, have you experienced all of it, or is there anything there on your list that you would like to do?
No, there are definitely a few bucket lists there. I love the ocean. Your regular swim, your regular fishing.
Yeah.
But I'm yet to be certified as a scuba diver. So that's something I'm looking forward to do, because the options are endless here in Oman when it comes to scuba diving and what you can see and witness there. We make fun, and joke about it, but even sharks in our ocean are friendly. They won't attack you, and that, I believe, is something that locals have rubbed off the animals here, where you don't get killed even by danger animals.
Yeah. Oh, perfect. Let's get into
Move
our
to
rapid
our
fire
rapid
now.
fire round.
Yeah, we're going to put you on the spot with some really quick questions. We're not going to give you any time to think, and there's going to be one-word answers. So go for it.
Start with the first one.
Okay, so my first one is like a series. You've got to advise or suggest one thing a person should do if he is visiting Oman for one day.
One day. Okay.
No time to think, huh?
Yeah.
The game has started already.
Started. Then it's Matrah Souq.
Oh, perfect.
Corniche, Matrah Souq is
must
a
visit.
Yes.
Okay. If the person is coming for 1 week.
1 week, then a combo between Muscat and Nizwa and Jabal Akhtar.
If a person is visiting for a month.
A month, I would say you start from Musandam.
Okay.
And then do the experience there, and then you get the luxury of traveling from Musandam in a ferry that will take you to Shinas.
Okay.
And then you could do the coastal drive to Muscat. You do Muscat, and then you travel to Dakhliya. And you don't only do Nizwa, you do the entire Dakhliya region. From a Dakhliya region, you could do the Wahiba Sands in Sharqiyya. And then you go to the ocean, and you do Sur, and you drive all the way down to Ras Al Jins. You continue. You have the opportunity to do Masira, the island. Not a lot of people recognize how big Masira is. It's massive. You come back to the same road, and you drive all the way to Mahout. Beautiful. You hit the Pink Lagoons. Very different terrain. You have Duqm. And then you have that coastal line that reminds me of California. Ocean Drive, where the mountains meet the Arabian Ocean, the Indian Ocean, and then you drive all the way to Dhafar, Marbat, Salalah, Taqa, Al-Maghsil, and the list goes on and on. And that is a full month of joy.
That is the route to follow.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, let's categorize a little different. Best places to visit as a family.
Family, I would say places.
Or places.
Okay, so definitely Muscat and Al-Dakhliya are very family friendly, and even Sharqiyya. They have very nice property in the middle of the desert.
Okay. Solo travelers.
Solo, I would assume they're more into adventure, so backpackers. So definitely they start with the Sharqiyya, and then maybe they do Al-Dakhliya and end up in Muscat.
Those who are purely interested in adventure sports and activities like that.
Adventure, then straight to Sharqiyya if they're into sand, and then Dakhliya, many options in terms of mountains, and even Al Batina region. And then if you're adventure related to ocean, then you have 3,000 kilometers of coasts.
Wow.
With different terrains, different creatures, different things to do and see and eat.
In one line for a person, why visit Oman?
Why visit Oman, the organization, or why visit Oman, the country? The country.
The loyal person
Yes.
says. The first thing that comes to mind is visit Oman as an
The
organization.
best word is the diversity.
Yeah.
And when I say diversity, it's not only the geographical part, not only the terrain, even the people. You have, a very unique mix of people from the Arabian Peninsula, and then from Asia and from East Africa, and everyone brings their own culture into it. You could go to villages and you literally eat the same dish 3 different ways because of the ethnicity of the individuals that live there. So definitely diversity.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, your ideal holiday spot in Oman?
It depends on who. So is it a family? Is it a couple? Is it?
Say your personal favorite.
My
if you had
personal.
to go, where would you go?
Jabal Akhtar.
Jabal Akhtar.
Yes, definitely.
And if one property that you had to stay in for
A property in Oman.
for 3 days.
3 days.
Yeah.
Jabal Akhtar Alila.
Oh, that has a special spot. Yeah.
Okay, for you, I know you said beaches, but if you had to live next to it, would you rather stay in the mountains or stay by the beach?
In Oman.
Yes.
To me, probably by the beach.
By the beach. Okay.
When you are visiting Oman, what are the 3 must things that you should pack in your bag? Apart from the passport.
Sunscreen.
Okay. Yes.
A smartphone with a good data plan.
Lots to
They need
explore.
The GPS. That's 2. And then maybe not a book. Maybe a book that you want to enjoy. There's a lot of spots where you can literally switch off and enjoy your favorite book.
Perfect.
Okay, a common misconception or a stereotype that you'd like to debunk?
About Oman,
Yes.
I would say I've heard this few times. It's not a misconception. It's the question itself. Is it safe? That gets asked a lot. And then is it modern? That gets asked a lot. For some reason, people think it's desert and camels. And then is it female friendly? And for me, if you answer the last one, the female friendly, then you answer everything else. And you tell me, are we family friendly?
It's the safest place on earth you could ever imagine
walk out
to
at 2
be.
o'clock in the morning and you'd be fine.
Yeah.
You don't even have to worry about it.
And now
absolutely.
it's up for us. How can we commoditize that as a concept and commercialize it and send that wonderful message to the rest of the world?
Well, a lot of times what happens, they see some movie where something has been shown and they feel that,
The
everything
entire
around it
like,
is
no.
also going to be like
And
that.
that's a story.
Yeah,
That really
exactly.
happened.
People don't know how to differentiate between like a cinema
Real
and
and
real
real.
life. Yeah.
Okay,
so
one
that's-
final question, unless you got something.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, if you had to choose between one of these 2 options, which one would you choose? One, travel all around the world for a year without coming back home, not even for a day, and promote Oman to different places, or stay in Oman for 10 years and explore every nook and corner. Which one would you pick?
For me, I'll travel.
And
That
talk
was an
about
easy
Oman.
answer.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Perfect,
Definitely.
beautiful.
Visit Oman it is
Yes.
at the end of it. Thank you so
Truly
much for your time.
My
It was
pleasure.
so lovely talking to you, hearing all the stories. I could visualize so many scenes of Oman, and we wish you all the best, of course, that
Thank you.
Khareef is here and it's going to be different this year.
And we know exactly what to do, we know where to go.
Absolutely. So excited and looking forward to it.
Thank you
yeah.
so much for
Thank you
joining us,
both.
Shabib. It was an absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Likewise.
Thank you.
You take care of yourself.